First, though, something not so pretty. A rat infestation has forced fire crews out of station number 37 in Riverside South. The district chief tells the media about 30 rats have been spotted making their way into the walls, and exterminators are now working on the problem so those firefighters can return to the station, which prompted our question, well, how do rats get in and how do you get rid of them? We went to the experts to find out. Bill Dowd is the president and CEO of Skedaddle Wildlife, and he's on the line with me now. Good afternoon, Bill.
Good afternoon.
So, were you surprised when you heard that rats had taken over a fire station?
Well, I mean, rats, we see rats in about 80% of every home, rats and mice in 80% of every home we go into. So it is a very common problem. Closing down a fire station in our 28 years in business, I have to say this is the first time we've ever heard of something like this happening, though.
Yeah. So when you hear it, like, do you think, something has to be, something funny's going on in that station? There has to be something that the rats want to get into? Or is it just that places get rats sometimes?
Right, exactly. Every property is susceptible to rats, whether it's commercial, fire stations, residential homes. So it is a very common occurrence. But the real solution is to find out where the rats are getting into the fire station, to get them out, and then to exclude them from getting back in. That is the long-term solution, as opposed to using poisons or traps to decrease the population base. Because until the entry point is found, this fire station is going to continually have a problem with rats. 30
rats sounds like a lot. Is it?
No, not necessarily.
Seriously?
Rats and mice, they can reproduce every 4 weeks. So 2 rats or 2 mice, and the infestation can get quite large fairly quickly. So obviously this needs to be dealt with in a swift manner, and the fire station needs to be rat-proofed.
Let's talk about the time of year. I mean, I thought that animals would be heading out. I didn't think that they were heading inside, but.
Well, exactly right. We're seeing a lot of calls right now for baby raccoons, baby squirrels. Rats and mice reproduce 12 months of the year, so their birthing season is continual, as opposed to other urban animals, raccoons and squirrels, skunks, birds, bats. This is the mating season and baby season for them. But rats and mice, it's 12 months a year, because one rat can reach maturity and give birth in about a month's time.
So, as an exterminator, how do you go about this now?
Well, we don't like to call ourselves exterminators. We're humane wildlife removal, so we can humanely get these animals out of that fire station, and as I said, rat-proof the fire station so they don't get back in, and then give the firefighters a lifetime guarantee that if they ever have a problem, we'll come out and get them out again, and then rat-proof it again. So that's the real solution, not putting down poison or traps to try and kill and reduce the population base, but to actually make the property rat-proof.
So how do you, can anybody do that? And is it could there be a hole, somebody's chewed a hole open in the structure?
Every property has anywhere from 35 to 50 common areas that rats and mice will use to get into a building. So all of those areas need to be closely identified. You need to go around the building at ground level, at roof line, look for any crack or crevice the size of a quarter for rats, and only the size of a dime for mice. So, a thorough assessment, figure out where they're coming and going, and then what we do is we put on devices that allow them to exit by themselves, and then they can't get back in. And then the rest of the property is rat or mouse proofed.
What do they need inside to stay there comfortably? Like, do they just go in and out, bring things, eat outside, go back in? I mean, are they eating things in the walls?
Well, they are rodents, and that means their teeth are constantly growing, so they'll chew on electrical wiring. So definitely a fire hazard. There's been documented cases of fires being caused by rodents eating electrical wires. They can go outside looking for their food sources. They can come into the building. One rat only needs 1/10 of an ounce of food a day to survive. So it's not like they need a lot of food. And there's numerous food sources outside and inside in garbages, crumbs on the floor, that type of thing for these animals to flourish and continue to reproduce every 4 weeks.
Do you think that the firefighters have to leave the station in order to get in there and get rid of the rats? Like, is that just a precaution, do you think?
Well, that's kind of their the homeowners or the firefighters' decision. Rats carry a number of communicable diseases to humans, over 60. I mean, rats and mice almost wiped mankind off of the planet with the bubonic plague, which was a direct result from rats and mice. So obviously, their members would have the decision. That's the decision that they would make whether or not to vacate the building.
Yeah, because they do sleep at the fire station. So rats will bite people too.
Well, they have been known to do that. It's a rat. But most homeowners that we do work for, they live with them in their attic, they're in their walls, and then they don't vacate their homes. But really, when it's something like a fire station, an integral part of our public services, that's a decision that they would have to weigh and make a decision on what they want to do until the animals are removed. And once again, that the fire station is rat proof, so they don't get back in.
So you don't go in and take out walls and remove nests and things like that. You entice the animal out.
Right, exactly.
Without doing a big expensive job.
Well, it depends on where they're getting in, how many openings. As you can well imagine, an opening the size of a dime or a quarter on a property, there could be thousands and thousands of potential areas. So, it really needs a thorough trained eye to find out where they're coming and going, to properly seal that up, because they can chew through wood, they can chew through metal. You have to use a very heavy screening or netting about the thickness of a coat hanger wire that these animals can't chew through to get back in. And rats are in every part of Ottawa, rats and mice. There's no one area of the city worse than another. These animals are kind of the bottom of the food chain, so they reproduce so quickly. So, during that, any homeowner should do a very, very thorough inspection of their home and definitely call in professional help if they have a problem, because it can escalate very, very quickly, the rat or mice infestation.
Well, I remember trying to do a rat story a couple of years ago, and we could not spot a rat anywhere. So they're nocturnal, right?
Right, exactly. They're nocturnal animals. They're very very shy animal, very timid animal, and very intelligent as well. So, not very many times do homeowners actually see rats. They might see evidence outside of their bird feeder. They might see tunneling, droppings, that type of thing. Most homeowners are aware they have a problem with mice or rats when they start hearing that gnawing, that chewing, and that's the animals chewing their electrical wiring, their wooden support joists, their roof beams, that type of thing before they give us a call. Most homeowners don't actually see one running across their bedroom floor.
No, I have. No, luckily I haven't seen that. Well, not yet anyway. But if you hear, so the telltale signs, scratching, chewing.
Scratching, chewing, they may hear running, because these animals, if they're in your attic space, they'll burrow down through the insulation and pitter-patter across the top of the drywall. But in most cases, it's that constant gnawing and chewing, because mice and rats are rodents, and that means their teeth are constantly growing. So to keep them down at proper length, just like a beaver, they need to constantly be chewing on something to keep those teeth at proper length. Okay.
So if you suspect that you do have a problem, I guess like the firefighters did, what's the first step? Call you?
First step would be call.
I'm calling you.
Call Skedaddle Humane Wildlife Control. We can guarantee to get them out, and we'll give them a lifetime guarantee that they won't have to go through this unpleasant experience ever again.
But you prefer the humane method. You don't want people set traps and bait.
That's not the way that Skedaddle Humane Wildlife Control operates, because there's so many rats and mice in the neighborhood, you're never going to get rid of them all. So even if you do knock down the population with traps and bait, you still have an entry point. Animals are still going to get in there, so it's just a temporary measure. We're looking at the long-term approach, so that way, a homeowner or the fire department doesn't have to worry about this ever again.
Okay. Can you give me a ballpark of what it might cost somebody to bring you in, Bill?
It really depends on the size of the house, the size of the building, how many entry points, but typically mice work and rat work can work anywhere from $1,000 and upwards.
But you guarantee that they're not going to get back in?
2 guarantees. We're going to guarantee we're going to get them out, and we're going to give them a lifetime guarantee. After our 28 years in business, we've done over hundreds of thousands of these removals. We have over 50 service trucks on the road. We have franchises in across Canada. So we know what we're doing. We do over 100 of these jobs a day. We're going to guarantee they're going to get out and guarantee they're not getting back in.
Okay, so the problem's not going to go away on its own.
Exactly. Even if they have someone out there doing trapping and poisoning, it's a temporary measure until the entry point is located, or entry points are located and properly secured and sealed up. it's going to be an ongoing issue.
Okay. I guess the firefighters are expecting to get back in this week, so let's hope it's the first time that they're forced out. And but Bill, thank you so much.
Well, we await their call.
You're going to get one from me. I think I might have a problem. I'm trying to ignore it, but I won't anymore. Okay?
Okay, let us know because it won't go away.
Thanks, Bill. That is Bill Dowd, the president and CEO of Skedaddle Wildlife. And you don't really want these things in your house. And you have to remember, it's nothing you've done, nothing bad about your house. These critters just want in. They want a little home. We're going to take a break. When